All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to tackle a topic that can honestly make or break any new business: the key financial numbers that every entrepreneur absolutely has to get their head around. Let's get right to it. So, let me just start by asking you a question. Right now, does looking at your business's finances feel, well, kind of like you're flying blind? Like you're trying to find your way in the dark? It's a super common feeling, believe me. But I promise by the time we're done here, we're going to have the lights on and a clear path forward. So let's think about these numbers, not as some kind of chore, but as your business's control panel. This is all about giving you the power to steer your company with real clarity and confidence. I love this analogy. It's just perfect. Your financial metrics really are like a pilot's instrument panel. They tell you your altitude, your speed, your direction, and maybe most importantly, if you've got enough fuel in the tank to actually reach your destination. Trying to fly without them, that's not a strategy, that's just a gamble. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty, starting with the biggest question of all: profitability. After all that hard work, for every single dollar that comes into your business, how much of it do you actually get to keep? First up, we've got something called gross profit margin. Now, this number is laser focused. It tells you exactly how profitable your main product or your service is right after you subtract the direct costs of making it or delivering it. Think of it as the first, most basic health check of your core business. And you know what? The math here is actually pretty simple. Let's say you bring in $1,000 in sales. Your direct costs, what we call the cost of goods sold, are $400. That leaves you with $600 in gross profit, which gives you a 60% gross margin. So what does that actually mean? It means for every dollar you bring in, you have 60 cents left over to pay for everything else. Okay, now let's zoom out a bit and look at the net profit margin. If gross margin is about the health of your product, net margin is about the health of your entire business. This is the real bottom line. It's what's left after you pay for absolutely everything: rent, salaries, marketing, taxes, the whole shebang. The real magic happens when you understand how these two numbers talk to each other. Your gross margin basically answers the question, are we pricing our product correctly? But the net margin asks, are we managing all of our costs effectively? You've got to watch both. You might have a great gross margin, but if your net margin is tiny, that's a huge red flag that your operating costs are just eating up all your profit. All right, let's shift gears and talk about what is, without a doubt, the single most important metric for survival. I'm talking about cash flow. And yeah, the subtitle says it all. It is the oxygen for your business. Every entrepreneur needs to burn this idea into their brain. Profit is an idea on a spreadsheet, but cash is a fact in your bank account. You can have profitable sales on paper, sure, but if your customers haven't paid you yet, you can't use that profit to pay your rent or your team. Cash in the bank is the only reality that matters day in and day out. And this quote just drives the point home perfectly. This is it. This is the reason so many businesses that look successful from the outside suddenly fail. They run out of oxygen. They run out of cash. So keeping a close eye on the actual money flowing in and out of your bank account, well, it's completely non-negotiable. Okay, so you're profitable, you've got cash coming in, awesome. Now, how do you grow? And more importantly, how do you grow in a way that's smart and sustainable? This next part is all about figuring out if you're spending your money wisely to bring in new customers. So the first piece of this whole growth puzzle is your customer acquisition cost, or what we call CAC. To put it simply, how much money does it cost you in sales and marketing to get one new person to actually buy something from you? You have got to know this number. And here's how you figure it out. It's not complicated. Let's say you spend $5,000 on marketing and sales this month, and all that effort brings you 100 new customers. You just divide the spend by the customers, and bam, your customer acquisition cost is $50. Knowing this number is the very first step to controlling it. But what is a customer actually worth to you? That's where the other side of the coin comes in: customer lifetime value, or LTV. This isn't just about their first purchase, no way. This is your best guess at the total amount of money you can expect to make from them over their entire relationship with you. It's the long game. And this right here, this is the engine of a healthy, growing business. It's this beautiful balancing act between LTV and CAC. The value a customer brings in over their lifetime has to be, and I mean has to be, way higher than what it cost you to get them in the first place. A really good rule of thumb: aim for a 3-to-1 ratio. For every dollar you spend getting a customer, you want to see at least $3 come back over time. This chart just makes it so clear, doesn't it? On the left, you've got healthy growth. That's when your LTV, the value you get, is way, way bigger than your CAC, the cost to get them. But if that ratio flips, like you see on the right, well, that's a huge warning sign. If you're spending more to get a customer than they'll ever be worth to you, you're on a fast track to going out of business. So we've talked about profitability, we've talked about cash, and we've talked about growth. But what do you actually do with all this stuff? Let's talk about how to turn this data into actual real-world decisions. This is really where it all comes together. These metrics, they aren't just numbers to stick in a spreadsheet for your accountant. They are your decision-making toolkit. Should you raise your prices? Can you afford to hire someone new? Where should you put your marketing dollars? The answers, my friend, are hiding inside these numbers. So how do you make this a habit? Here is a super simple weekly check-in you can start doing today. Number 1, review your cash flow. Just ask, do we have enough cash for the next month or two? Number 2, check your profit margins. Are they holding up? And number 3, monitor your growth metrics. Is our LTV still higher than our CAC? 3 simple questions that can have a massive, massive impact. You know, this is one of my all-time favorite quotes in business because it is just so true. What gets measured gets managed. If you aren't measuring these key numbers, there's no way you can manage them effectively. By starting to track them, you are actively taking control of your business's future. And that's where we'll wrap up. I want to leave you with this one question to think about. Look, don't try to track everything all at once. You'll just get overwhelmed. Just pick one. What is the single most important number that you will commit to tracking starting this week to take real financial control of your business? Thanks so much for joining me.